So, for the first vid tonight, I have to thank yet again Memology 101. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you haven't subscribed, you really should, because, yeah, there's some very interesting data that the individual points out. For example, the following, now I'm going to turn this up. And under fair use, let me play you some of the following, stopping occasionally for comment, but yeah. A registered sex offender joins race for a seat on the Fresno City Council. This is February 25, 2026.
Fresno deserves leaders that are honest from the very beginning, not the end. So going into this, I'm putting my life out there.
Up front about his...
You know, it's this new age spirituality, you know, do what thou will, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, just...
status as a registered sex offender. Rene Campos is not running from his past as he runs for office.
I've been given the chance to rehabilitate through the courts and back into the system.
Charged with being...
Even that's quite the statement. I've been rehabilitated through the courts and back into the system. But what we live in, apparently, yeah, the system. How's that working out for us, really? This system sucks when, well, you know, this is California, of course, but, you know, I do ask myself, how long before something like this is a thing in the UK, for example, or, for example, in Scotland, you know?
in possession of child sex abuse material back in 2018. The Fresno native says he pled no contest to a misdemeanor charge.
A misdemeanor charge.
Now launching his campaign to represent District 7 on the Fresno City Council. He says his focus is on safety.
So I say, let's choose somebody outside the box. Somebody who knows the system from inside out. Because me, I've experienced the laws that we are trying to reform right now.
Fresno?
Well, what laws would that be that, you know, he's trying to reform? You know, you would wonder, yeah. How about, I mean, you can see the direction of travel. It is absolutely do what thou wilt. There's no two doubts about it. At no stage in the 80s would anybody in the UK ever suspect that we are now living in a time where children are being taught from nursery school age that they can be whatever they want to be, whatever sex, or identify as a cat, and a litter tray will be provided. And meanwhile, in California...
County Clerk and Registrar of Voters James Coos says state law does not prevent a registered sex offender from running for office.
Well, you could look at a bigger picture on that and certainly look at the Senate in America, yeah, the Congress, yeah. It would certainly explain a lot, but listen to those words.
Once you leave prison, you're on probation, you actually are allowed in California to reapply and become...
While on probation, remember, even, yeah.
A registered voter again, which would then make you eligible to be able to run, as long as you are living in the proper jurisdiction.
Oh...
looks to enter a growing field of people vying for the seat.
I'll leave you a link to anyway your thoughts, and I'll speak to you soon.